What's up, everybody? It's your boy Jacob, Pick Management, here with the Prince of Picks, Payam. Off, kind of a tough night, not gonna lie. That's what happens sometimes in betting. Regression comes for everybody, and if they say it doesn't, they're lying to you. We are here, though, with a jam-packed Saturday slate. It is an early start time with some of these games, with the first tip-off at 5 p.m. today. But, Payam, buddy, how are you off a tough night? Still red hot for the start of the show. Up a whole bunch of units still, so we are okay. We can afford to take a couple of L's, but we're not going to make a habit of it. Winning is what we do. So, Payam, say hi to the people and let them know how your night was.
Yeah, man. As you alluded to, I had a rough night, but we've built up enough of a buffer where we can, withstand a couple, an off night here, the one off night. Okay, we're not gonna make it consecutive, but yeah, we're still profitable for the season. And look, I mean, when you have two of the highest scoring teams in the league, and the game is tied at 100 with 2 minutes left in the game, these things happen, right? And then you have two of the top defensive teams in the league and they're putting up a total of 260 points. So sometimes, the Matrix gives you lemons, and you just have to deal with it. And you take it and you move on, and that's what we're gonna do. We're moving on to tonight. We're looking forward to getting into these bets. There's some good games tonight. And some really juicy bets here that I like. So I will go ahead and get us started, Jacob.
Yeah, go for it. We got a
Okay.
six-game slate, so yeah, we'll dig right in and let them know what your best bets are for the Saturday NBA slate.
All right, cool. So we're going to save the best for last. So first off, we're going to start in Utah, where the Jazz are hosting the Miami Heat. For this game, I am taking Miami money line. Now, I understand there's a lot of guys who are on the injury report for the Heat. A lot of guys are questionable. Butler, Lowry, Jaime Jaquez, Duncan Robinson, Caleb Barton, Josh Richardson. There's quite a few players. However, I do believe in Heat culture. And I believe that this team is the definition of next man up. So I don't, if there was ever a team that I would still trust given all the injuries, it would be the Miami Heat. My opinion, Eric Spoelstra is the best coach in the league, and he has been over the last decade. Nobody gets more from less than him. And one thing you can always count on with his Miami Heat team is that they're always going to give maximum effort, no matter what night it is, no matter who they're playing. I'm going to ride with Heat culture here. Utah has lost 5 straight to Miami, dating back to 2021. Historically, as of recently, they have not won a game against them. Miami has won 4 straight road games this season, and they have won 9 of their last 13 overall. So Miami is a team that is trending in the right direction. I know Utah had their little winning streak. They did lose against New Orleans the other night. But again, I just think Heat culture here, Miami, they're going to get up for this game, and they're not going to want to lose to a Utah team that's below 500. So for this one, I'm going to ride Miami money line. I'm also going to be on Bam Adebayo over on his points rebounds prop. That line I have not seen yet. I just checked before we started this show. We're recording roughly, what is it, maybe 9:30 a.m. Eastern. And this line's not out yet, but when it comes out, I'll be taking
I'm
it.
checking right now for you.
Yeah, see if you can find one for me. I'll be taking it. I think he's going to dominate the likes of Walker Kessler, Kelly Olynyk, and John Collins. I think this is a smash spot for Bam. And I just think his size and athleticism is going to lead
There,
him to a
there are
successful night.
only rebound player props out for Utah players.
Right,
No
right. Nothing from
Heat
Miami,
players
which
whatsoever.
I would imagine has to do with the list of questionable players. So, we'll see. I didn't see Bam on that report, so I'm assuming he's going to play. But in any case, I'll wait for that line to come out, and I will be taking his over on points and rebounds. Jacob, did you have anything for this game?
I am on the Heat with you here, bud. I just think the Jazz are bad, like
Mm-hmm.
real bad. And I think that the Heat are trying to turn it up. They are trying to hold things together without Jimmy Butler. Do you know? Is there a word on his return? Like ETA on his return yet?
Butler. I last I saw he was upgraded to questionable. The last
Oh,
I
all right, yeah,
saw,
he is. He is upgraded to
right?
questionable,
So
so they'll get him back soon. And I think when they do, I think the NBA is going to be in trouble. And I think that this team has been holding it together with toothpicks and glue,
yep,
and
yeah,
they've
yeah,
created kind of quite the fortress
yeah,
that Miami Heat has become. So I'm
yeah,
with you there on the 140.
yeah.
I also might be taking a look at the under, but make sure to check the socials to see if I make that in official play. Yeah, pick management later today.
Yep.
But yeah, what else you got for us?
Yeah, and not to mention they did just beat the Warriors with relatively the same team. I mean, Jaime Jaquez did play that game, but the rest of the guys they didn't play. The injury report was roughly the same, and they beat the Warriors by double digits. So, they've already shown that they can not only compete but win. And I would say the Warriors are slightly better than the Jazz. So yeah, I like that a lot. Next up, going to speaking of the Warriors, nice segue, going to Golden State, where the Warriors are hosting the Dallas Mavericks. Now, with this bet, there is a caveat. I will take the total over 240.5 only if Luka plays. Last I checked, Luka was questionable for this game. I'm not sure if he's been upgraded to probable or to active, but if Luka plays, I will take the over 240.5. If he does not play, I will not be betting the total. He makes that much of a difference to this team, especially on the offensive end. So it is entirely predicated on him playing. But the Warriors have allowed 114 plus in 9 of their last 10 games. So this Warriors defense is not the same championship defense from a couple of years ago. They have regressed. You could say some of that is due to Draymond Green not being there. I tend to believe that it's more because they're just getting old. This team is just getting old, and their young players are not coming through the way that I think the Warriors management had expected them to. I just think defensively they're a little bit of a mess right now. Kevon Looney is questionable for this game. If he doesn't go, then good luck trying to stop this Dallas offense. Especially if Luka plays and Looney doesn't, I will be absolutely hammering that over 240.5. Both teams are bottom 11 defensively in the league. They were also both top 9 in scoring. So, the metrics would lead you to believe that there should be a lot of points in this game. But again, I'm only doing it if Luka plays. So over 240.5 if Luka plays. If he does not, I'm staying away. One bet I will do regardless is Steph Curry, 5+ threes. I know he struggled as of late. He's been struggling the last few games. But Dallas is 17th in the league defending the 3-pointer. And I think with this being a Saturday night game at home, Warriors are starting to get in desperation mode. And when you play against a weak defense, I will put it this way: the last time he played against a bottom half defensive team was against the Wizards. He had 8 threes in that game. So when he plays against bad defensive teams, he tends to show up, and especially at home on a Saturday night in kind of a desperation mode spot. I like Curry to have a huge game tonight. I think he bounces back in a big way. So I will be taking his 5+ threes for the game tonight. Do you have anything for this one?
Yeah, a couple of those are a little scary for me. That 3 point prop is definitely scary.
Well, you know what?
He's only hit that in 4 games this year. Yeah,
Well,
yeah, 4 games so far this year.
he's the best
Uh,
shooter in NBA history, so
I'm
I'll
sorry,
take it.
5 games this year. He's gotten over 5.5. Oh, I'm sorry. The line's 5.5, so that's even worse. It's only happened 4 times this year. But if you like it, I'll ride with you because that's why we got you here. The Prince of Picks knows what he is talking about when it comes to these player props. So make sure to ride with that. But for me on this Mavericks Warriors game, otherwise it's going to be a stay away. Luca, no Luca. I'm gonna read on the line here for the points, and it's just a tricky game to play. I get them. The Warriors are playing better at home, but the Mavs with Luca are a pretty dominant team right now. And like you said, the Warriors defense is shaky at best, and they could be in trouble. I think right now I'm in a battle between Curry and Luca. I think Luca wins. So
Yeah, I would agree with that.
not much more for me on that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got
Okay.
anything else?
Yeah. So finally, we're gonna head to the game of the night, which if results were different in Boston a couple nights ago, this would be the worst game of the night. But instead, it's the best game of the night. Detroit Pistons hosting the Toronto Raptors, and I say best game in terms of emotion and significance. For this game, I'm taking Toronto. I'm taking Toronto minus 4.5. At minus 110. That's what I got that at. Toronto, they won 142 to 113 in mid-November. That game was in Toronto, but they blew them the hell out. And I think there's just going to be too much pressure for Detroit in this game. I almost feel like it would be better if this game was in Toronto. I would like Detroit better. I think the fact that they're going to be at home, that home crowd is going to be nervous. They're going to be on pins and needles the whole game. There's going to be the air in that stadium is going to be super thick. I just feel like the amount of pressure, to not, give up the record for the entire league and the history of the league at home in front of those fans. That pressure is just going to be too much for them to handle, personally. And I just think Toronto is a better team. I think they've underachieved this season so far. They should have a better record than what they have. And, they're long, they're active, they're athletic, defensive. I just think this is a bad spot for Detroit. I think they crumble under the pressure. And I think, even if Detroit were to get out to an early lead, there's gonna be a vibe in the stadium of oh no, are they gonna blow it? Are they gonna blow it again like they have multiple times during this losing streak? So there's never gonna be a safe moment in that stadium until the final buzzer goes off and Detroit has more points than Toronto, which will not happen. So I'm on Toronto minus 4.5. I think they win by double digits, but I'll take the minus 4.5 just as a better bet for me. So
For this game, I was looking at. I'm all over Toronto here too. I am scary of the 4.5. I get that it might be a blowout. I'm sorry. Detroit has played a ton of games in a very short amount of time. Since the 23rd, which was a week ago, this will be their fourth game in 7 days. That's a lot. Two
yep,
of them being on the road. They did play Brooklyn back to back and lost both of those. Then they had the game where they gave up a 17-point lead to Boston, which is just unreal. And this is their first game since then. And you would think it might be a bounce back spot, which it would be for any other team except for the Detroit Pistons.
100%.
That was just a demoralizing letdown, losing to the Celtics like that. Celtics keeping their home court win record alive. And the Pistons, I believe, if they win tonight, they break another record when it is involving losing. I
Yeah.
know.
So tonight, tonight's for the all for the consecutive losses, not just in one season, but carrying over multiple
Sure,
seasons.
I
So
think it's 15 to end last season. I think that's what it was. 15 games to end
no,
last season losing.
it was 26 games was the record for one season, but then the Sixers actually they have 28 losses on
No,
the
no, no.
span of
I'm
two
talking
seasons.
about
Oh,
right now. I'm talking about right now. Detroit is carrying over 15 losses in a row from last season. I think
no,
I believe
this
they.
is this is
No.
all just this season. Yeah, this
Oh,
is
okay.
they've lost 28 games in a row this season.
Right.
So they started out 2-1, and now they're
Yeah.
2-29.
Yeah, and since then they've let that in a row. But what I'm saying is there is another record that they can beat that is involving the amount of games that they lost in a row last season. It's to end the season. So they lost, I believe, 15 games in a row
Yep,
to
yep,
end.
yeah, but they won this season though. They do have 2 wins this season, so that
Oh,
streak
I
is
get what you're
over.
saying. Oh, I understand what you're saying. So
Yeah,
I must have misheard.
yeah,
Whatever, guys. Sorry, it
yeah.
happens.
No, yeah.
Well, at least we're talking basketball.
Yeah, right. No, I mean,
So
no. So the streak is from the Sixers actually held both streaks. They held the streak for 26 losses in a row in one season, and then they also hold the streak for 28 losses. So what happens? What they lost 26 in a row at the end of the season. Then their first two games of the next season they lost as well. So that made it 28 in a row. So they
right.
hold the record for overall losses just consecutively, amongst multiple seasons. So
Sure.
tonight is for that record, which is the one that you don't want to have. That he's going to be on the wrong side of history,
So yeah,
for a
so
franchise like
like
the
I said,
Pistons.
I'm gonna take Raptors. I'm in the -3 and their money line. I'm gonna take a half unit and split it up. It's -160 for the 3 and 185 on the money line. Money line just dropped 5 cents, so it is a little bit better for us. I had mentioned a couple of the other plays that I was on for tonight. I do like the Bulls with no Embiid. I believe Embiid is going to be out again
Yep,
tonight.
he's out.
So this Bulls team had started to heat up, was making a little run of it, winners of 3 out of their last 5. If you go back to that, they had won 4 out of their last 6. But Philly keeping it together without Embiid, I got to say, have doing a hell of a job. Winners of 4 out of the last 5. If you go back before that, it is like a whole bunch of wins in a row. But that was with Embiid, so that's something to remember. I still know Zach LaVine, Javon Carter, Patrick Williams, all those guys out. Vooch out.
I got
Torrey
it.
Craig, Lonzo.
Yeah.
All those injuries for the Bulls, but the Bulls are still keeping it together. And I think that they can get it done at home here. Philly is another one of the teams who has played a lot of games. They're on a back-to-back. They played at Houston last night and won. Just covered the number. It fucking killed me. I had 3. They won by 4. So that sucked. But yeah, I mean, I get it. And the other thing to remember is, a couple of the teams that they've played aren't the best teams. So, they had, they played Washington, Detroit twice in a row, Charlotte, Toronto, Houston. It's not like they've been playing the best teams in a row. So their strength of schedule and the teams that they beat is a little bit of like a paper tiger record. So I get that they're winning, but I think this is a spot that the Bulls can take advantage of it. I also, depending on the injury report with the Lakers, I'm pulling that up right now.
I can tell you,
This
AD
game,
and LeBron
Lakers
are
versus
questionable.
Minnesota. James and Davis questionable as always. Cat or Carl Anthony Towns, as he's actually called, is questionable for tonight as well. If he's in and one of the two from the Lakers is out, I like Minnesota. Minnesota at home, 8-5-1 against the spread. The Lakers, losers of 3 out of their last 5. You go back before that, it's 6-2. They've lost. So sorry, they're 2-6 in their last 8, and they just have not been playing well. Minnesota though has been balling out. Just beat Dallas. They lost to OKC on the road, but they just beat the Lakers 118-111 at home on the 21st. So it's not like they're strangers to this team and the way that Minnesota's been playing. I think that at a -165 money line, I think we're getting a great number here. And then the last game that's up here is the Indy versus Knicks game. I'm not going to touch that, so you're going to have to check the socials at Pick Management later to get the best bet for that because I'm still waiting on a few things to take a look at. But I am leaning towards the Pacer side on that game as well. So that's going to do it for me. Payam, you want to say to the people where they can find you?
Yep. So you guys can follow me on X at PrinceofPix10 and also on TikTok at PrinceofPix10.
All right, and I am Jacob at Pick Management. You can find me there at Pick Management on Twitter and TikTok, at Pick Management Betting on YouTube. This has been the NBA Betting Insiders on the Sports Betting Insiders channel, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button because if we can get to 1,000 subscribers in the next 3 days, I'm going to give away my collector's edition pair of Zion Williamson Jordan 2s, the neon one. Free to enter. Just hit the subscribe button. It's that easy. We'll see you later. Good luck.
It's all mathematics. Mighty most deaf. It's simple mathematics.